Imagine a world where your electric car charges fully in just 5 minutes, the same time it takes to fill a gas tank. Now imagine that same battery lasts for 100 years, surviving over 100,000 charging cycles without losing power. And here's the kicker. It uses absolutely no lithium, no cobalt, and practically no rare earth metals. It sounds like science fiction, doesn't it? Or perhaps it sounds like another overhyped scam. But on January 5th, 2026, a small, relatively unknown startup named Donut Lab dropped a bombshell that didn't just make headlines, it sent actual shockwaves through the boardrooms of giants like Toyota, Samsung, and QuantumScape. They claim to have the world's first production-ready solid-state battery, shipping to customers right now. But if this technology is real, why did they hide it behind closed doors at the world's biggest tech conference? Why is the industry so divided between calling this the greatest breakthrough in history or the biggest hoax of the decade? Welcome back to IZHAN Tech. Today, we are going to peel back the layers of secrecy, analyze the chemistry that defies conventional physics, and find out if the age of lithium is finally dead. Let's dive in. Let's be brutally honest from the start. If even 50% of what Donut Lab is claiming is true, we aren't looking at an incremental update to your smartphone battery. We are looking at a fundamental rewrite of how humanity stores energy. We are talking about a shift as significant as the move from steam engines to combustion engines. But extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, and right now, the battery industry is holding its breath. For those of you who follow battery tech here in IZHAN Tech, you know the drill. We have been promised revolutions for 30 years. We've seen press releases for miracle batteries that vanished the moment they left the laboratory. So why is this time different? And why are industry experts who usually laugh off the claims looking at this specific startup with genuine concern? The skepticism starts with the numbers. A 5-minute charge and a lifespan of a century? To a physicist, those numbers usually describe a capacitor, not a battery. Capacitors store energy on the surface of a material, which allows them to charge instantly and last forever, but they are terrible at holding a lot of energy. Batteries, on the other hand, soak up energy like a sponge, which takes time and slowly destroys the sponge over years. So, the first big question we have to ask is Donut Lab actually selling a battery, or is this just a clever word game for hybrid supercapacitor? The drama reached a boiling point at CES 2026. This is the stage where companies go to show off. If you have the holy grail of energy, you put it on a pedestal with a spotlight. But Donut Lab did the opposite. Visitors to their booth saw beautiful casings, sleek modules, and impressive designs, but they didn't see a single cell actually working. There was no live Dow, no real-time charging, no voltage meters running. For the tech community, this triggered an immediate red flag. We have seen this pattern before. When a company claims to be weeks away from changing the world but refuses to show the product working, it brings back bad memories of past Silicon Valley scandals. The immediate reaction from the press was harsh. If you have it, show it. If you hide it, it doesn't exist. However, dismissing it as a scam might be a fatal mistake. When you look closer at the situation, the silence starts to look less like a cover-up and more like a weapon. Here is the angle most mainstream news missed. Donut Lab isn't trying to sell batteries to you and me. They're selling to original equipment manufacturers, the car companies, and the motorcycle builders. According to reports from deeply embedded industry sources, the batteries are out there. They have been shipped to verified partners under the strictest non-disclosure agreements in the industry. Think about it from a business perspective. If you discovered a way to build a battery without lithium, a secret recipe that Toyota has spent billions trying to find, would you display the internal chemistry at a public trade show? Of course not. Competitors would buy the first unit, tear it apart, and reverse engineer your patent in weeks. By keeping the tech in the shadows, Donut Lab buys themselves the most valuable asset in the world, time. They are trading public hype for intellectual survival. But this leads us to the most critical question of all. Does the science actually make sense? This is where things get fascinating for us at IZHAN Tech. The reason Toyota and others have struggled with solid-state batteries for decades is crystallinity. Traditional solid-state batteries use crystalline structures. Imagine building a wall out of rigid bricks. When ions move through it, the bricks expand and contract. Eventually, the wall cracks. These cracks are called dendrites, and they cause the battery to short circuit or die. This is the wall Toyota has been banging its head against. Donut Lab claims to have sidestepped this entirely by using amorphous ceramics. Instead of rigid bricks, imagine a structure that is more like a chaotic, flexible web, perhaps something based on amorphous titanium dioxide. This structure doesn't crack because it doesn't have a rigid crystal lattice to break. It allows ions to flow wildly fast, hence the 5-minute charge, and it doesn't degrade, which explains the 100-year lifespan. And this is a big. If they have mastered the manufacturing of amorphous ceramics using nanofluid printing, they haven't just beaten Toyota at their own game. They've changed the rules of the game entirely. They aren't trying to fix the old problems. They are using a completely different map. We are conditioned to believe that progress is linear. We think that because Toyota has more money, more scientists, and more labs, they must be the ones to win. But history tells a different story. Lithium-ion batteries weren't invented by a giant corporation. They were pieced together by small research teams making specific material breakthroughs. Disruptive technology almost always comes from the outside. Toyota is like a massive ocean liner, powerful, but slow to turn. A startup like Donut Lab is a speedboat. Toyota is targeting 2027 or 2028 for their solid-state rollout. Donut Lab is shipping now. Even if Donut Lab's battery is only half as good as they claim, the simple fact that it is lithium-free destroys the supply chain advantage that major automakers have spent years building. If you don't need lithium mines, the geopolitical map of energy changes overnight. However, before we get too excited, there is one glaring omission in the data that we need to talk about. Donut Lab talks a lot about how light the battery is, but they are very quiet about how big it is. For a motorcycle, maybe a slightly bulky battery is fine, but for a sleek electric sedan or a smartphone, size matters. If this battery takes up twice the space of a Tesla battery to hold the same energy, it won't work for cars, no matter how fast it charges. This silence suggests that while the chemistry is revolutionary, the packaging might still be in its infancy. Why does this matter to you? Because we are approaching the physical limits of current technology. The lithium-ion batteries in your phone and laptop rely on liquid electrolytes. That liquid is flammable, it degrades, and it limits how fast we can charge. We have squeezed almost every drop of efficiency out of that chemistry. To get to the next level, cars that charge like gas vehicles, planes that run on electricity, and homes powered by safe storage, we need a solid-state future. Whether it is Donut Lab, Toyota, or a mystery player we haven't met yet, the transition is inevitable. So is Donut Lab the real deal? The skepticism is justified. Until independent, third-party data is released to the public, we have to remain cautious. But the internal logic of their technology holds up. They aren't breaking the laws of physics. They are just exploiting materials we previously ignored. The coming months will be the ultimate test. If those NDAs expire and the independent tests confirm the data, we will look back at January 2026 as the moment the lithium age ended. If not, it will be another cautionary tale. What do you think? Would you trust a car with a forever battery from a new startup? Or would you wait for a legacy brand like Toyota to verify it first? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to IZHAN Tech. We are tracking this story closely, and the moment the test results are public, we will bring them to you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.